with a shepherd who will take the disciplinary measures so that this sheep will become dependent on the shepherd. The Jehovha Raah will protect his sheep. I love that passage where David says, I will fear no evil. How come? Because you are with me, Jehovha Raah. You are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And the shepherd would protect his sheep. Oh, David knew that, didn't he? Remember how he told us when he was fighting the big guy, Goliath? He said, I've already taken care of those lions and bears before. God, help me deliver my sheep from the bear and the lion. And he'll deliver me from you, you big punk. Well, I mean, it wasn't like punk, but it was kind of like punk, you know? But even more.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a story about a young mother that had 3 children. And one day, it was a beautiful day, and she had just been to the dentist and had her pearly whites all cleaned and brightened. And left the office and went to the school to pick up her children. And then the story kind of turned from there. And it's actually a story about me and my life. That day I had what's called an anaphylactic reaction to latex. I don't know, any of you that are in the medical field are probably well aware of what that entails. Basically what happened was my eyes started itching first, and then my neck starts getting red, swells, then swells to the point where it swells shut. So here I am with these 3 little kids in the urgent care, and they had to treat me for it. And while I was there, I remember kind of coming in and out. I wasn't really aware of what was going on around me a lot of the time. But I do remember the nurse, and I remember keep asking her over and over again, am I going to die? Because after they gave me the medication, the epinephrine and stuff, my heart was racing. I just felt like I wasn't going to make it. And all I could think about were those 3 little kids. But you know, the Lord protected me that day because I am one of his sheep. And it's really interesting because that incident then sparked some things that went on in my life for the next few years. I've since had 4 anaphylactic reactions from latex. So I'm very careful I don't go anywhere when there's balloons there or any other products that have latex in them. And then this year, you know, we were having our community celebration, and I had invited somebody that I work with to come and be in the race, and she was there. And I thought, you know what? I do not want to be afraid of this anymore. I want the Lord to heal me from this, and I don't want this to be a stigma in my life anymore. And it's really interesting because, you know, Tom was talking about worry, and that's how it started. It started as this little grain of worry in my life, which then led to fear, and then that fear became absolutely debilitating, to the point where I didn't go to parties. My children were not allowed to go to birthday parties if there were going to be balloons there, because I was afraid that they would come home with that latex on them. But you know, we prayed about my latex allergy, and the Lord allowed me to overcome that fear. And I actually went to the community celebration. Many of you saw me there, and the Lord protected me. I had no reaction at all, even though I was surrounded by latex all day long. And I give that praise and that glory to the Lord because I know he is the one that is protecting me. And that when I am in his will and when I am praying for healing, he is going to hear me. Just like he takes care of his sheep in Psalm 23, the Lord is taking care of me.
Amen. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. There's never a place we're going to go, but what Jehovha Raah is with us. Can you imagine the Apostle Peter as he's led into that Colosseum, and he's going to be crucified upside down? Can you imagine the Apostle Peter as he is chained between 2 guards, and he knew that King Herod wanted to chop his head off the next day? Can you imagine all of the other apostles who each one suffered a martyr's death? Can you imagine All the disciples through the first and the second and the third centuries who died, who were persecuted, who were beaten, who their stuff was robbed from them. And each one of them could say, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Jesus said, don't fear those people who can destroy the body in this life. Rather be more afraid of the one who can destroy your soul in hell. Why do we walk in fear? Children of God should not walk in fear. We should walk in faith. Do not be guided by fear. We're not going to make it out of this world alive. That's not the issue. It's how do we live today? How are we living? We need to just be like that sheep. Will someone one day could misuse us? That's fine. That's part of this world. That's just the way it is. The Bible even says, why not rather be wronged? Why not rather be cheated? Hey, don't walk in fear as a child of God. Walk in faith. Jehovah Raah will protect his sheep. Jehovah Raah makes promises to his sheep. He says, love and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I just absolutely love that. Do you feel the love and the mercy following you every day? And how do you respond to it? There's a wonderful story about a young man, married guy, dropped his wife off at the beauty parlor, getting her hair done, because the in-laws are coming over, and she's getting all purdied up. Well, while she was getting purdied up, he went to Lowe's with a buddy. And man, they were checking out some tools. Next thing you know, he looks at his watch, and he's like 2 hours late in picking up his wife at the beauty parlor. So, I mean, already he's like, oh, I cannot believe it. He gets on the cell phone. He can't get her. He calls home. One of the kids picks up the phone and says, Dad, you're dead. You're not going to believe it. Mom walked home in the rain. Oh, Dad, you're going to die. He's thinking, oh, I'm going to die. So he's driving home. What can I tell her? I got kidnapped by some terrorists and they were holding me. I know I slipped on the floor and I was unconscious and no. So he goes in the house and he sees the in-laws pulling up, the street. And, oh no, this is going to get ugly in front of the in-laws and everything. Oh no. And he walks into the door and she comes out of the kitchen. It looks like a drowned rat. Just wet hair. Oh, just everything. And she's like, where were you? He goes, I don't have any excuse. He says, I was just stupid. I'm sorry. Will you please forgive me? And she goes, yeah, okay. Come over here and give me a kiss. Let's just forget it. Yeah, she did. Come on over here. Just give me a kiss and let's forget it. Now here's as unbelievable as that story may be. If it were close to being true, I've got to ask the guys right now. Guys, what kind of kiss would that be? Huh? Would that be a little peck on the cheek? Well, thank you. Okay. Or would he like, pow, lay a big one on her? Oh, baby, you're the greatest. He'd just be smooching her like he's never smooched her before, because that would be like a miracle, And he'd just be kissing on her, wouldn't he? Now, let's take a moment and apply that to our situation. And the goodness and the mercy and the love that God has had on us. Our cup is overflowing. How will you embrace Him?